Hello everybody, this is Sean, and thank you for joining me today. I've got actually a delicious meal planned for you, as today we make some French split pea soup, served alongside with some of the delicious buns that I made for you guys the other week. So sit back and enjoy. Split pea soup doesn't have that many ingredients that go into it, but it is one of my favorites to make, and something that actually takes quite a while, if you don't have a cheater's method like I do with the Instapot. Stovetop takes you about 1.5 to 2 hours. Instapot takes you about a half hour. These are the ingredients that we're going to need. I've got a medium onion diced, 2 carrots, as well as a celery. We're going to need 2 or 3 tablespoons of butter to saute everything in, salt and pepper for seasoning. In here I've got a little bit of chili powder, which is optional, a bay leaf, a teaspoon of thyme, and a teaspoon of savory, which are the traditional seasonings. Got green split peas. Usually they'd use yellow. These are what I could get. We're going to need about 1.75 cups of those. I've also got some chicken broth. Not homemade this time, but that's how it goes. We need about 4 cups of broth, and then another 3 cups of water. And instead of a smoked ham hock, I managed to actually get some smoked side ribs at a pretty good deal, so I'm going to throw those in there. My next step is to get the Instapot going on saute mode until it's warm, then melt our butter in it and start these. I'll meet you over there when the Instapot is ready to go. Okay, the Instapot is heated up. It's on saute mode and I have it on high. Got some butter that was already melted that I'm going to throw in there. It's about 2 tablespoons worth, maybe a little bit more. Just put that in there. If your butter's not melted already, that's fine. We want to wait until it heats up anyway. Just stir that around.
Coat the bottom of the Instapot.
I'm going to make sure it's all coated.
Make the right side.
And that it's warm.
There's a glaring spot right there that you missed.
Oh no. I missed the spot.
Glaring YouTube commenters, comment if it's bothering you.
Oh no. YouTube commentators, did I bother you with that spot that I missed in the butter? At this stage. I'm just waiting for all of the butter to warm up, even more than it already was, so that I can start to saute this mirepoix. And it went in there a little bit early, but you can still hear it saute. Don't know if you can hear that, but actually it's definitely sizzling. We're going to want to cook this in here until it sweats and simmers for a bit. You want them to glisten and become almost translucent and a little bit soft. If your vegetables are too hard when you start this, then they're still going to be in one piece when you're done the pressure cook phase. And then it's not going to be pea soup, it's going to be vegetable soup with peas. Okay, now that it's gone for a little bit and is bubbling away, we add salt, we add even more salt, and then we add pepper. If you don't have an Instapot, you can do this in just a big sauce pot, or a soup pot, stock pot, stock pot. Use a stock pot.
It smells good.
It does. And they also look like they're pretty much ready. We've got a lot of juice coming out of there, and we know that they are lovely and sauteed. It's time for us to add in our spices as well as the peas. So start off with the spice mixture. If you forgot what I said earlier, that was a teaspoon of thyme. I've got a teaspoon of savory. Got a little bit of chili because I like it, it's optional. And I also have bay leaf. Mix that all up. Now we take our peas. We get them in there too. Okay, our peas are added in there. Give it a big stir to mix it around with all of your vegetables and your spices. So you want that flavor in the peas. I'm tempted to give it more salt right now, but since we're going to be using a commercial stock and I'm also putting in some smoked short ribs that I have, it might get a bit too salty if I add too much salt right now. but I'm going to do it anyway. Not advisable, but delicious. Okay, that's all mixed together. Spices are toasted. Gravy. I'm not going to throw those in yet. Now it's time to add in the stock and as well the water. Okay, we've got our 4 cups of stock. And then we'll also need 3 cups of water. The buns from last week's video are ready. But there is the 3 cups of water that goes into this recipe. Give that a stir. Smelling delicious already, and we haven't even added the ham hocks in there. Spices. The miracle of spices. There's a reason they exist. Okay. And now, this is when you put in your ham hock, but we've got these delicious smoked short ribs instead. Or side ribs. I think this is beef or pork.
Pork, I believe.
Yeah, okay.
Could have been beef.
Who knows? It's going to have a similar flavor profile, just a different texture to the meat. We're still going to cut it off of these and mix it all in when we're done. Okay. Now that you have everything all in there, there's really nothing else to do. If you were cooking this stovetop, this is when you would bring it to a boil and then drop it down to a simmer, and then you'd continue to simmer it for 1.5 to 2 hours until all your peas have broken down and the meat is basically falling off the bone. Instead of doing that, I've got an Instapot. So I'm going to put my lid on, lock it off, seal it, have this thing on pressure cook mode. I'm just going to go to, where's my pressure cook? Yeah, cancel saute, pressure cook, high pressure for 20. We only need 15 minutes, and we're gravy. So I'm going to be back to you guys after this thing has heated up, cooked its 15 minutes, and is ready to go. We're going to be doing the slow cool down with this one, where you let it sit the extra 10 minutes on warm, and then release the pressure, but I'll show you guys that in a little bit. So until then, enjoy. Okay, I have let our Instapot sit for about 10 minutes, 11 according to this thing on the keep warm function. So time to turn that off. And then we release the steam. I always make sure to angle it so it's not going directly at my cupboard, because I don't want all my spices and everything to get wrecked by steam. Oh! Okay, our pressure valve has finally gone down, so we can open this up and take a look at our soup. Get this boiling hot thing out of the way. Then you're going to want to find your bones and take them out. Don't worry about any meat that's stuck on there. That's our next step. Stir it up with a wooden spoon, just to make sure that you got all the bones and stuff out of there. And it looks like I did. Okay. Now you're just going to want to have this keep warm. So I put the Instapot back onto saute. And it can be on low, because that'll just keep this warm. Let it reduce a little bit. This is also when you taste it to see if you need any more salt or pepper. And get that bay leaf out of there. And then I'm going to grab myself a spoon and have a taste. That's absolutely delicious. The only thing I think it needs is like a little dash of Tabasco when it's actually in my bowl. Here, I'm gonna let Cisco try something too. Smoky, delicious. You can taste those peas. Okay, I'm gonna cut to the cutting board for you guys. Okay, now that we've got our meat out of there, it's time for us to get it all off of these bones as easily as you can. It's very hot and knives are sharp, so be careful. I have Teflon fingers, so I'm not as worried. Okay, that is actually not on that. Bones left in here. It's okay if there's some bones, as long as you guys are aware that you're eating ribs and stuff like that. If it's a ham hock, it's all the meat's basically on one bone, so it's you kind of have to. This will at least get it into bite-sized pieces for us. Okay, we've gotten all of the meat off the bones. Give it a rough chop so that everything is bite-sized and can fit on a spoon. This also helps you discover if you've missed any pieces of bone or cartilage, because, you know, you'll feel those under the knife. This direction too. Okay. Get everything off of the knife and all over my fingers, but it's okay. This is a delicious meal. Okay, we're gonna take this on over to the Instapot. Get that in. Get anything extra down off of your cutting board. Lick whatever's on your finger off of there. And then mix it all in. And there you have it, guys. We've made ourselves a delicious split pea soup using some short ribs instead of ham hock, but it tastes the same. It's delicious. I haven't made this in a very long time, and I am ready to have myself some supper. Okay. Big scoop of that there. Get it down on a plate, and we're gonna put some of the buns that we baked in the video that came out a couple weeks ago beside that, because they make a great side for soups like this. And there you have it, everyone. That is a French split pea soup. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a wonderful time cooking it, and I know I'm gonna love eating it. So from me to you, I hope you have a wonderful night. Like my videos, I suppose, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share with your friends, and have a wonderful night. Goodbye.